Howdy folks, I just want to welcome you back to another Tech Tip with Ben. And today we are going to look at how to make your choose your own adventure book. So we're going to look at three kind of increasingly complex ways that you can use with your students so that they can take creative writing and create an interactive experience that they can either share with each other, or maybe if you have older students, you can share those with younger students and create some fun reading and writing for everybody. We're going to use presentations to create this choose your own adventure book. So we'll start off by looking at Google Slides. And then if you want to amp it up, we can look at something that's kind of neat where they can do some AI image generating to help complement their presentation or their story. So we start off here with a blank presentation. So I'm not going to go through writing it. That's something you can do with your student, but you can see here that I have a choose your own adventure story. All right, so the Enchanted Forest adventure. So there's going to be a lot of copying and pasting out of this. So in the first one, we're just going to kind of like make it text-based. Very simple, very straightforward, really easy to do. Once they've written a story, it's not very difficult to kind of throw this together. So let's create some slides and let's go through the story. So chapter 1, we have a rival in the Enchanted Forest. So we're just going to put in our title, and then we are going to put in our text. On slide 2, we have the Cave of Whispers. Okay, so here's enough for our example. So now we have several parts of our story created. And now we have to figure out, like, how are we going to turn this into a choose your own adventure? So that's all done through linking. You can link, make hyperlinks within a presentation to a website. You can do the same to go to another slide in a presentation. So arriving in the Enchanted Forest, we have two options. We have explore the cave and visit the mushroom hut. Okay, so we're just going to put those in. So we'll just insert some text boxes. And I just like to duplicate it. It's just easier. Enter the mushroom hut. All right, so within the Cave of Whispers, we have descend to the depths and follow the light to the garden. So here we have our adventure, and it's kind of boring. It's just black and white. You just read the things, and you can't do much with it. So the first thing you'd want to kind of, you can choose fonts and make sure everything, like, this is all lopsided. So make sure everything's symmetrical, everything's nice looking. But we are going to focus on how to make this into a choose your own adventure. If we go to the Enchanted Forest, okay, so we have option 1, explore the cave. So if you select this option, and you can right click on it and you'll see the link. If we click on a link, you'll see next slide, first slide, and then a bunch of other stuff. Well, our slide to go in the cave is actually slide 3. So if we type in slide 3, you'll see Cave of Whispers. So we just click that. And now if you're in the presentation and you click on this, it'll take you to that slide. So for the mushroom hut, we are at, so we're going to link, and the mushroom hut, I think is, well, we can even, since we titled everything, slide 4, mushroom hut. All right, so then in the Cave of Whispers, we got to go to the depths. You can also insert links through insert up here and link. So now that we've done a few, if we go into the slideshow, we have our title page, and then, so you read through and then you see your options. So then I want to explore the cave. I'll click that. And now we're in the Cave of Whispers. And I want to go to the depths. So I'll click that. And now we're at the depths. And so as you link those slides, they can click through and choose their own adventure until you come to the end. Okay. Now this works, and there's even, templates for it that makes it quite easy, especially for younger students. So you can look, and just look up choose your own adventure Google Slides, and like, here's an example of one, and it's already lined out for you. So if we go, it's already linked, everything's all linked up. Let's take this to the next level and try to make it a little more attractive. Okay, so let's start putting in pictures, because you don't need to click words, you can actually click images. So we'll do a couple slides to show you what I mean. So we arrive in the Enchanted Forest. First thing I want to do is choose a background for the slide to give it an Enchanted Forest kind of feel. So if we go in a slide and we choose change background, we can choose image. So this is where you can upload an image that you find on the web, but what's nice, because this is Google Slides, you can actually search Google within it. So we go to Google Images, and we're going to look up Enchanted Forest. And then it's going to give us a bunch of options. I think this one's quite nice, so I'll insert that. Done. So now we have a nice Enchanted Forest. Obviously the text is a little bit hard to read, so you can do things like, I'm going to highlight it and just add a white background to the words. I'm going to reduce the spacing. I'm going to increase the font size. Okay, so now we have our forest. So now we want to explore the cave or the mushroom hut. Now you could just click the words, but why not put a picture of a cave? So let's go on the old Google. We'll look up cartoon cave entrance. If you want to spend a lot of work on it, you can get students to try to find things that match up. I'm not going to work too hard at it today, just because we're trying to get through this. So we go through our images, and we see there's a bunch of cartoon cave images. So I think this one's pretty cool. So I'm just going to copy the image address, and then I can go to remove.bg, and I'm going to paste that in. I paste it in, and it's now turned it into a PNG. So remove background's a great way. If you have a picture you like, but it has a background, but you just want a transparency around the edges, remove background will take that away. So we're going to download that, and we're going to go back in here, and we're going to get rid of this explore the cave. Okay, because we're actually going to put a cave in there. You can either insert image, from computer, go through that, or if you have it as a file in your downloads, it's right here. So we throw it in. You'll see that there's this watermark on it. We're going to get rid of that. If you double click the image, you can crop it. So I just drag this up, and it gets rid of that watermark. All right, so here's our cave. Now we need a mushroom hut. All right, so now let's look up cartoon mushroom hut. There's lots of options here. I'm just going to take a random one. So that's a nice one. So we're going to copy image address. This remove background has gotten rid of that white background and made it transparent. So it just fits into the image a little bit better. So we're going to download that, head back to our project. We can throw that image in. So obviously you can spend some time formatting it, making it look nice. We no longer need enter the cave. So just like before, now we just have to add a link to these images, and then it will take us where we need to go. So let's click on the mushroom hut. We're going to go to insert link, and then we're going to go to mushroom hut slide, and then we'll click on this one, insert link, say the Cave of Whispers, boom. So now when we do the slideshow, we can read through our options, and then I can either click on the mushroom hut or the cave. So now we're in the Cave of Whispers, or click on that. Now we're in the mushroom hut. So now in the mushroom hut, we're going to go to slide. We're going to change the background, choose image, and say I like this one here. We'll insert it. Done. Okay, there's a nice interior. So there's our mushroom hut. So now we need to get a couple of doors. You can even, do stuff like I have it coming over the text a bit just to add a cool little effect. So now I have my 2 doors. I would go and I would insert link, slide 7, and then we have link, insert, link, forest glade. So now we go back into our slideshow. Here we have our nice little thing. We're going to go in the hut. Now we have this, hut with the 2 doors. We have the library door and the glade. So that would take us to the library, or that would take us to the forest glade. And then you just work through this with your students. So it gives them a chance to be creative, make some digital storytelling tools, and share their work with each other and other people in more engaging ways. So full transparency, like I made the story in ChatGPT, and I also generated the images for the story in DALL-E. So I find that this kind of creates the next level where students are actually trying to figure out images that would go with their story instead of, you can Google it and try to make it work. But with older students especially, they can practice, writing prompts and figuring out how to create the right picture for the story they're telling. So this is I did a few slides just using DALL-E to create the images for the slide. So we have our enchanted forest. So DALL-E, this is all made. So you can see it's high fidelity, and I tried to get the images to kind of fit in with the theme. And so we have our options: explore the cave or visit the mushroom hut. So if I click on the crystal cave, the cave of whispers, you'll see we have our 2 doors, one to the garden, one to the depths. Or if I go to my cabin, there we have our mushroom cabin. It keeps the mushroom theme. And then we have our 2 doors to go. So let's look at Canva, because most image generators you shouldn't be using with your students, like things like DALL-E and that. There's age limits on it. Luckily, Canva has one built into it. So a very similar process to this. You can create a design in Canva, and then you can create, and it has an image generator. Okay, so let's look at it for a moment. Image gen is down on the bottom here. I've done it in another video. So we need an enchanted forest, high quality. It's nice because then students can mess around with the prompts and choose different art styles. Okay, so here we go. We have this image. Now you can see it's too small and it's not the right specifications for our presentation. We're 16 by 9 and this is like a 1 by 1. So let's edit the photo, and Canva has these wonderful features like magic expand. So this is this 1 by 1, it's just a square, but if you go over, you can see 16 by 9. So if you click that button, is now going to change that photo so that it fits into a 16 by 9. So we're going to hit magic expand. So it's going to add more onto it. It's going to give you more options. So you should have 4 options to choose from. And then hopefully that works. So you can always do it again. Okay, I like this one. So I'm going to hit done. And then we'll make this our background. So now we need a couple things. We need a mushroom hut and a cave entrance. So one thing I try to do when I'm trying to get an image that I want to separate from the background, I usually say with a blank or a white background, because that makes the background removal process much easier. So let's see what it does. If there's a bunch of stuff going on in the background, it's harder to isolate it from the background. So boom, here we go. The cute little hut. So if we go into edit photo, the background removal is built into Canva. So we can hit that, and there we go. We have a little hut with the background removed. Now you'll see that there's little holes in it because it removes some of that as well. So if you go to the slider here, you can actually go back in and restore parts of it. So I want those dots. And then we can go back, and now it's less holy. So we have our little hut down here. Now we need a cave entrance. The other nice thing about Canva is that it has tons of media already built into it. So I don't really like those, but let's look at the elements. And let's look up cave. And then, oh my goodness, here we go. We got tons of cave elements here. And they already have the backgrounds removed. So there we have it. So let's go for the inside of the cave. Okay, that's kind of a neat picture. So once again, it's the wrong aspect ratio. So we edit the photo, go to Magic Expand, 16:9, and then we can set it as our background image. Now, remember, there's lots of other tools in here that you can use. So say you want to add some stuff in, you could use this, and you could say like, okay, I want right there, I want a campfire. So there we go, we have a little bonfire there. You can add to your scenes as well. It's not the best image generator, but it gets the point across and it's kind of neat for the kids to try out. Let's link this cave. So we're going to link. And then if you scroll down, you'll see pages in this document. So I'm linking the cave to slide number 2. I'm not going to go through the whole process again, but it keeps working the same way. So all you're doing is creating links to other slides. So if you were to present this, it won't work. In order for this to work, you need to share it. And then you need to go to download. And you're going to download it as a PDF. So an example of one I did earlier, the Enchanted Forest, just because I did a couple extra slides. So we scroll down to our first one. So we have our cave entrance and we have our mushroom hut. So as you move over the picture, you can see a click. You can click on it, because if you click here, it does nothing. So if we click on the cave, it takes us to the Cave of Whispers. And then we could enter into the depths or into the garden. And if we go to the mushroom, it takes us to the mushroom hut. And then we could click further on and do it. So you can export it as a PDF. Students can share it with their classmates, or as I said, you can share it with the younger grades, which I think is a great activity for students coming together. All right, so that's it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.